Have you heard of the financial law of gravity? Probably not, because it is one of Wall Street's best kept secrets. Why? Because the biggest trading firms in the world use it to make a fortune. It's also how I doubled my money in just 67 trading days. Interested? Want to find out more? Want to get in on the action? Click the button right now to join me and find out how I did it.
And we are live with Nick Black in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Beep 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 beep. That last one was for you.
Figured it was.
Hey, what happened with your at-home driving school yesterday? Oh, come on, tell us what happened.
Are we talking about this now? Is this happening? Yeah. Are we?
Hey, you know what happened at Brandon's driving school?
What do we have to talk about crypto today or something? Let's go. Crypto.
Pork chop going. Here, go ahead.
Crypto. It failed. Wait, it's not the driving school that failed. It's the pupil that failed. It's not the teacher. It's the pupil. Yeah, you got to blame the pupil. No, there has to be some accountability in this world for your own actions. So he's taking accountability.
But didn't your kid crash into your car in your driveway?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know what happened. Yeah.
Do we know? I don't think everybody knows what happened.
I think everybody knows or should know this happened in our own driveway. Yes.
Well played.
This is happening. Yep. I feel horrible.
Welcome to the American Institute for Cryptocurrency Investors and Brandon's at-home driving school. Anybody who has kids that you want them to wreck into your car in your driveway, please contact Brandon. He's offering a free driving school. Where is it? In Iowa? Where do you live?
Idaho. The beautiful. We have hay bales. We have potato
Idaho,
sacks.
Iowa.
Don't give me that
ayahuasca,
same. No. Dude.
Ayatollah.
Dude.
Hey, did you hear that Biden and the CIA pink misted one of the Al-Qaeda guys, al-Zawahiri or whatever, and they said that, and this is just the craziest thing, that they knew the house he was at, they knew the little, balcony that he was using to like go smoke a cigarette and look at his vast land of desolate wasteland. And they were like, there were other people in the house, but all we did was targeted him. And I was like, cool, that must be awesome. Did you use like a sniper, some cool stuff? We used a drone and 2 Hellfire missiles. Wait a minute. Hellfire doesn't sound like something you can localize from space to a balcony. Like when I hear Hellfire, I just imagine some kind of, hellish fire where no one survives in that zip code, because Hellfire. It was not like hell flame, like poop. I don't know. Tell me in the chat. Do you guys think everyone else in the house survived? They were like, we only targeted him, not his family, and he's the only one. Well, everybody else was irradiated. There's no way you'd ever know. That's what I thought. Gee, Jim, that's what I thought. I don't know how you could just, man, you got to use a sniper to smoke. Even the drones are so big. Those drones are beast. Have you seen those drones, Ryan? How big they are? Ryan, Brandon.
No, don't ever do that again. But yeah, I've seen them. They're great.
They're big.
They're huge.
Predator drones are freaking big. They look like little planes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that crashed into the Pentagon. No, that was a Cessna. That was a terrorist on a Cessna. I got my misleading facts confused. Okay, why don't we jump into the markets? we're going to do a digital asset update, a quicker one. We're going to go through your questions because a lot of the questions are based around the options action, the options market, and some of them are MT GOX questions and all that. But the options questions, remember, we're doing a really, really, really deep dive in the heavyweights around the Bitcoin and then eventually the Ethereum, both put and call option side of the crypto space, because there's some currency units to be made there. Now, the Ethereum side of it could get wonky when we go into what's about to happen. There's some trades there too. Those kinds of things we do in the heavyweights. I can speak in vague terms here in the open room, but you know, we do the nitty gritty stuff in the heavyweights room. Okay. That being said, I think we're at or around 550 heavyweights now. Did you know that, Brandon?
I just got confirmation. Yeah, that's exactly the number that I just got. So we are 550 digital heavyweights.
That's exactly the number.
That's exactly the number. I swear to you.
Oh crap! I didn't guess the exact number,
dude.
I declare
shenanigans on you. Here, I'm gonna screenshot.
I declare shenanigans on you.
Check
not 549, not 551. It was exactly 550.
There you go. Check it.
Man,
I just sent you a message.
Listen, there's no straight lines in nature.
It's pulled up.
Is that as clear as your driving instructions for your personal driving school?
Hey, but 550 is really good. And I heard at 1,000 memberships, they're going to be changing the price, which is important to note, obviously.
Well, so don't say changing. Don't say changing like it could go. It's going up. It's not changing. It's increasing.
Well, yeah. Inflation, okay. So I feel like I've been in crypto too long. Okay.
Inflation.
Something's happening in September. I don't know what. know what. Okay. Hey,
let's go.
Hey, is the Ethereum, really quickly, is the Ethereum event, is that a buy the rumor, sell the news type event? Do you think?
Yeah, I think people should be probably buying. I mean, this is the tricky part. I don't know. Your individual portfolio should dictate what you're doing, not a specific news moment. However, I think it might make sense adding at these levels and exiting into September 19th if they don't kick the can down the road again. And so I don't know, man. Well, wait a minute real quick. If the Hellfire missile, it's not really fire if it sends out razor blades, right? Isn't it just Hellblades? I get it why they call it the ninja missile. Because it's like, Q.
Right.
Can you imagine it just rains down razor blades? Crap, man. Ow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the pain would be real. You know, that's how my soul felt yesterday when my kid ran into my own truck. Right there.
Your soul was they did a hellfire on your soul.
They did hellfire. They did. It's exactly how it felt.
Except instead of raining down fire or raining down razor blades, it just rained down just sadness. You said, I'm not mad at you, son. I'm just disappointed. It rained down disappointment.
That's right.
But it's really not. I mean, you're the one who runs driving school. It's really your fault. It's a bad teacher.
I couldn't roll my eyes even anymore right now.
There are no bad students. Only bad teachers.
What do we got? Market review? Let's do this.
Market review. Yeah. Okay. So listen, as we look at these assets, look at the kind of broad scope of what's happening. So get away from the 24-hour unless there's a specific asset you're looking at. Like for me, I was looking, I almost pulled the trigger on some Ethereum yesterday. It was like 1580 floating around there. These are probably good levels. Look, it was 1750, 40, 60, like a day and a half ago. It's up 50% on the month. I imagine it could get it could get a double from here. It could be 3,000 going into the merge. Remember, that's September 19th, at least if they don't kick the hour down the road. No, this is not an hour. This is a half hour. This is just some Q&A. This is called office hours. So you haven't paid for anything. Member 0001113. This is free, bro. You've paid for nothing. Feel good. Smile. Drink some coffee. Go pet a cat or a dog even. The space is quiet. It had a pretty good weekend. We didn't go into a punishing weekend. Bitcoin's still up 20% on the month. It's pretty good after the month it's had. The problem is, which we will address in a little bit, is the MTGOX tokens. It's still an overhang. We know it's coming. We don't know when it's coming. We can't really trade around it. You could start trying to buy puts and calls and insurance and all this kind of stuff. I mean, probably the way I would play it is whatever you'd like to own in terms of Bitcoin. You might take, if you own Bitcoin and you're selling calls, it might make sense to take some of that call option premium and put it on the other side as put insurance. The problem is you don't know where or when to do that. If Bitcoin melts up to 30, 40K and then they dump 15,000 Bitcoin on the market, then also there's two events. There's going to be the event when the MTGOX administrators of the civil rehabilitation announce that they're going to drop the tokens back to people. And then there's going to be the actual tokens hitting the market. So people will try to price that in. They will try to price that in as it approaches the same thing with the merge, right? We're looking at Ethereum. We're like trying to price in the merge, trying to wonder where all the miners are going to go. There's a lot of embedded game theory here. And it's not, there's not if this was easy, everyone would be rich. This is not easy. And you can only get so close. These are a lot of probabilistic assessments. There's too many cross currents, too many bits and pieces. Are we still good on sound, Brandon, or did we lose sound?
Don't you worry about a thing, Nick. I'll let you know.
Okay, because I got some people saying they can't hear me.
We're good.
Anyway, okay, so we're watching, we're waiting for the rehab to say, here is when the rehab happened. Here is when we're giving the tokens back. Then we're going to look and say, okay, here's how many tokens are going to be given. Then we're going to look at that group of tokens probably. Listen, 150,000 tokens are going to be dealt with. Now, this is Bitcoin. Now, about 90% of those have already been sold, traded, contracted, whatever. So you say, okay, that's done. A lot of that will just transfer into hedge fund hands. A lot of that will go right to cash. So there will be some selling probably at the level of the rehabilitation itself, the fund that is the rehabilitation, those 150,000 tokens, there'll be some selling in there. Then there's going to be the tokens that hit the market, like where people said, I want my tokens back. Cool. Some of those people will hold, but many of those people are now rich. And maybe they don't want to sit around and wait for another incident. Maybe they're a little bit angry that they waited like almost a decade to get their effing tokens back. They're going to exit. So I assume it's going to be 10 to 15,000 Bitcoin exit. And if that happens, would you be the last person to sell or the first person to sell? Now, what the rehabilitation may also do is they may say, here's everyone's tokens, but we're releasing 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, so that the market could absorb those. My guess is some discussion like that's in the works because they don't want to crash the market. They also won't let anyone else beat anyone else. So for instance, they may say the tokens will be deposited in these accounts, but you won't have access to all of it. And no one's going to be first. Like everybody's going to have a certain amount, then a certain amount. So they will probably drip these tokens out over some interval, unless they're complete idiots and they just want to wreck the market. And you know what? They haven't behaved like idiots. The firm, the lawyers, everybody involved in this rehabilitation, except for Carpelas, the guy who stole them. Everybody involved has been at least, and I mean they've been slow, but they've at least been doing what I think is overall best for the creditors. I should assume that they are thinking all these, and they have been thinking all of these things through, and they're getting a lot of hedgy people and VC people and people like Michael Saylor, probably calling them every 3 minutes. Please don't dump them on the market. Please don't dump them because my company's gone. You realize if Bitcoin drops 15, 12, 10K, Michael Saylor can say whatever he wants. MicroStrategies will no longer exist. Period, full stop, gone, see you later, bye. They're done. They're done. The whole company doesn't exist. If Bitcoin gets below 10K, there is no MicroStrategies. He says, well, 3,800 or 4. Bull smoke. You get below 10K, there is no micro strategies. The whole company's done because they've leveraged their leverage, debt service, leverage, debt service, leverage. They're getting nuked. So and probably a lot of people don't, if Michael Saylor gets nuked on this and he goes down, there's a good chance that Bitcoin, there could be some bad punishment, which, weirdly would probably be good for the space to kind of like clear out all of the dummies. He is one of them. He's well-intentioned, but he's a fool. And so anyway, these are some, and that's just in Bitcoin, right? So crypto ain't easy. And if you came to the crypto space for easy money, you need to shove along. Just mosey on down the road because you're in the wrong spot. This is not easy money. There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of currency to be made. But if you think it's going to be easy or that you can sleep for more than 3 hours a night, that's cute. I remember my first part-time job. Okay, Ethereum, there's a whole similar set of game theory. Again, we go through all this in much more kind of detail in the heavyweights, and also we make very specific, like there's things that I can say to the heavyweights that I cannot say, as you guys know, in the public rooms. It is what it is. I'm still buying infrastructure. The last purchase I made was not Ethereum Classic. I bought Near. I bought Near in the threes. I'm happy about that. I haven't bought Cosmos, but I have really good staking. I'm getting like 17, 16% staking on Cosmos, staking through the Cosmos ecosystem. So I love it. So essentially, I'm always adding, and that's in real time. Like every few seconds, you're getting tokens. That's really cool. I am going to buy Algorand again. I feel like I'm light on Algorand. Nexo, I don't know if you guys saw this morning. Nexo popped up to almost 90 cents for a skosh. I don't know what happened. I don't know what piece of news floated out there. I don't know if someone's front running something, but something's going on with Nexo. And you look at the token, like 6-8 months ago, it was almost $3. And now it's 75 cents. Why? Because people were selling, people that had Nexo tokens that got over leveraged like dummies, like I try to warn you guys not to do, but people did it. They had to sell their Nexo token because that was liquid. So they started selling, which you own the Nexo token if you have a Nexo account because it gives you better borrowing rates and it pays you higher for lending out because that's what they're doing. They're functioning as a bank and you're getting a percentage of the money that they derive from lending practices. So you get a higher rate of return and a lower borrowing rate if you own a Nexo token in certain percentages. I think the range, the platinum range is 10%. So if you have 100,000 and you have $10,000 worth of Nexo token, you get really good rates. Great. And you also get cash back like on swaps and stuff, which is kind of cool. But what happens is when the market turns sideways and you've leveraged, if you've borrowed against your asset to get more assets because you're a degen like Saylor, and the market goes against you, what do? You start selling your liquid assets. And I think people oversold Nexo because they were leveraged on Nexo like dummies. So don't do that. So I think as the market turns back around, Nexo is going to do really, really well. That optimism token, I don't own any. I'm not sure about it. I'm just not sure that it's all that compelling. There's a bunch of scaling solutions for Ethereum. The only one that seems to be getting traction as far as I can see is Matic. I don't see I just don't see anybody else that's building the way Matic is building. And of course they're up 92%. For those of you that were getting into Matic in the high 30-cent range and you're at a clear double right now, going into the merge, anybody who has a double on Matic, and many of you should, especially yesterday, the other day, it was like 95, 97 cents. I'm still telling you, if you have a double or better on Matic, take your original investment off the table, put it in stablecoin, and wait out the merge. You don't have a long time to wait. And most of the merge, I know Vitalik says that the merge is not priced in. Okay, but on September 18th, the merge is priced in, right? He's saying this because they, for valid reasons, are starting to become a little bit worried that people are going to figure out that the merge means very little for Ethereum. It is a couple of iterative upgrades. It's cool. Proof of stake versus proof of work. That's cool, but it doesn't change the fee structure. It doesn't change the inflation structure quite yet. They will. There's a bunch of these steps. Surge, Verge. What, the Splurge is the other one?
There's a lot. I mean, before ETH becomes deflationary, there's still more steps to be taken. And even the merge itself, it's basically going to put ETH on a level of where, for example, even where that Optimist coin is with the amount of transactions that it can process. Right. But it's, I mean, so yeah, I mean, you're right. This is backwards thinking. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what people think after they actually see what happened in the merge. I mean, it's speeding up the amount of transactions that can happen, but that's about it.
Yeah. Now let me pose this question to you. Let's think outside the box. If Ethereum becomes truly, truly efficient, where transactions are super cheap and really, really fast, then why would the Ethereum token go up in value?
If we're thinking outside the box, I would say adoption. I mean, more people are going to use it.
Okay, so then that means so then the only argument becomes it becomes a kind of investment in what? In the expansion of Ethereum, because there's a limited amount of Ethereum and it starts to kind of look like Bitcoin-ish with smart contracts, like that becomes the argument. Like, does it look more like an equity in smart contract functionality in the future of what?
I guess the only future that could be is Web3, right? That's it. I mean, I'm a big believer of Ethereum. I believe the utility is more prominent than Bitcoin, than anything else. If they can solve the issues that it has with the gas fees and the network congestion that increases the gas fees, I think Ethereum's spot on because of the utility that's encompassed in that blockchain.
Right, but just think about this. If I have a coin that's really fast and really efficient and really cheap, and I'm going, bing, I'm in and out. I'm buying NFTs. I'm doing whatever I'm doing with Ethereum. Why would the token itself go up in price?
Because more people are going to be using it. More people are going to be utilizing that. It's the same, I guess, I mean, same theory as Bitcoin going up in price when more and more countries are using that as their currency, right? I guess.
I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. No. I mean, and look, I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer, but these are some questions that you have to kind of consider. Like, unless you have a fixed supply. Now, they say we're going to be deflationary because we're burning tokens and all this kind of stuff, which, by the way, once companies start implementing token burns, it's usually a sign that they're trying to goose the price. And that's a little uncomfortable for me. The idea that it would go deflationary and become some weird store of value, I don't buy it. And if you're looking at the whole, infrastructure space, I mean, you look and go, okay, Ethereum, $1,600, Cardano, 50 cents, Polkadot, $8, Matic, 87 cents, Avalanche, $23, Near, $4, Cosmos, $10, Algorand, 32 cents. There's a lot of reasons not to invest in Ethereum. The other reason is, and again, I'm not saying to do or don't. I'm just saying you need to consider all these things. The other thing is, Ethereum may have 3 more years before they get to ETH2. You guys get that, right? Surge, Splurge, Verge, Gurge, Regurge, all these kind of urge things. There's 4 more after the merge. There's 5 of these things. They've been doing this since 2017. You think they're just going to high speed these things? There was a bad smart contract implementation last night, and in 5 hours, $200 million got hoovered up. Because a network made a mistake rolling out a little bitty upgrade, a code upgrade to their smart contract functionality. It was a bridge, a cross-chain bridge. Whoops, all gone. So do you think Ethereum is going to rush? You think they're going to speed up? All right, let's get to some questions.
We have, and this is good too. We have actually some really good questions today, and I'm going to say this. If you guys do have some questions, by all means, put them in chat. Put that little punching, the boxing glove in front of it so that we can highlight your questions in the upcoming days. First question from Dr. V. What exchange allows options on crypto?
Okay. Well, Ledger X. So Ledger X is the only one that I use. You could, I know OKC, Deribit. There's a lot of exchanges that offer weird kind of futures looking things. But as far as an actual options exchange, it's really only Ledger X that I would use for Bitcoin. Bam. There's not like full options on everything. I think OKEX had something that looked like that, but it was pretty weak and it was illiquid. All right. Next.
That's fair. The next question from David. Do you have to take action before expiration, or does LedgerX close your positions out automatically?
Okay, this is good. Throw my screen on screen, because on this one, David, we're gonna spend a little bit of time. So if you're long, meaning you bought an option before the option expires, the owners who are long can choose to, 1, exercise the option. The buyer has until 5 p.m. Eastern on the expiration, meaning on the Friday that it closes, to submit exercise instructions to the platform under balances in history. And you go to exercise instructions. 2, close the position and realize a profit or loss. 3, let the contract expire worthless, right? You can let it expire worthless. No, I'm not saying Matic will tank. Where on earth did you get that? No, I'm not saying anything will happen. I'm saying you need to consider all these options. Okay. So here's the way it works. We are net sellers. Hopefully you're a net seller of options. So if you're a net seller, you don't have to do anything. It's only the buyers of options on Ledger that have to exercise those options. And you get a lot of people that don't know how to do it, and you just get free money. It happens all the time. I have options that are in the money that someone else could put me into Bitcoin, or they could call away my Bitcoin, and they just don't, because they don't know how to exercise, because they're not willing to read this page. That's a support page in Ledger, because they don't paper trade. Paper trade doesn't just mean recording stuff on paper. It means going through the entire exchange and understanding the tools that you have at your disposal. The onus is on you as a buyer. You have to exercise. You have to exit a position. A seller doesn't have to do nothing. Now, if you want to buy the position back, you've sold, and now you want to buy the position back, now you go in and you close out the position. You buy to close. But as a seller, you ain't got to do nothing. It's easy, bro. Be the casino. All right, let's continue.
The casino. Thoughts on Mount Docs unloading? You kind of talked about a little bit of this earlier.
We did the MT GOX thing. The MT GOX thing. Yep. Next.
Let's go to the next one, actually. So now that the BTC is in FTX, should I convert it to dollars?
No. If you were gonna convert to dollars, 11, then what you would do is sell at the money 1 week out and get some premium. Remember, if you're going from one side of the fence to the other, from cash to Bitcoin or Bitcoin to cash, you just want to transition, just do it with an either at or in the money call right there that expires in a few days. And that way you guarantee yourself a little bit of premium. Does that make sense? So right now, what would that look like? Right now, let's say you had some Bitcoin, you just wanted to, I want to exit out. You're at 23. I would sell that Bitcoin right here. Look, it's delicious. $475 to $572. You could probably get that closed out at about 5.25. And 5.25, you're going to get closed at 23K. Now remember, don't do that if you bought that Bitcoin months ago at 59,000. Okay. What you're going to be doing is going further out and selling higher than your entry price. Don't ever sell lower than your entry price. If your aggregate price of Bitcoin is 25,000, you would not sell a 23K, right? You would sell the 25. Don't ever sell for less than you bought it for. That's the whole idea. That's why you could just wait and slosh around back and forth. Anyway, I think that covers it. We don't want to cut anyone else's time. We'll see you tomorrow on the heavyweights, where we'll go deep into the woods on this stuff. Stay out of trouble. stay in school, don't do anything my poor and solvent drunk, strung out on meth, or Brandon's children wouldn't do, backing into his cars in Brandon's driving school.
Burn. Oh.
And on that note, I bid you a pew pew. Pew pew. Pew pew.
This is where you get that, so go and grab you